on average, you're going to spend more homeschooling your high schooler than you did when they were younger. Just the way it is. But that doesn't mean that every resource out there has to be spending. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 resources that are free for your high schooler. If you are new here, welcome. I am Tricia, and I am a homeschooling mom with 3 kids. My oldest is getting ready to graduate, and my next kiddo will be going into high school next year. So I really understand what the price tags look like for high school level. And it can be daunting, especially if you try to outsource your classes. It's a lot of money. You're paying for the expertise and the rigor to be a high school level course, but that doesn't mean that the price tag doesn't make you flinch a little bit when you see it. The first one is a free history textbook out of Stanford, and it's called, I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this right, the American Yawp, Y-A-W-P, which I looked up to find out what that means. It's a raucous noise or rough, vigorous language. Anyway, it is a collaborative textbook, open source, but it is highly, not regulated, not sure what the correct word is. It's well done. You can see the list of collaborators on it. There are people who know their stuff. There is a print version that you can buy. I think the print version is only $25, which is quite well priced. But if you don't want to spend that, you can do the online textbook. It is broken down by chapters. It's well written. I wouldn't call it like high engagement level, but it is well done. I wouldn't call it boring either. More interesting than the average textbook is how I would say it. So take that for what it's worth. Volume 1 is before 1877. Volume 2 is afterwards. They include maps and other illustrations. It's easy to navigate. If you are looking for a free history book, I think this would be a fantastic option. Next one is called edX. And you may have heard about this, especially in the last year and a half. There's been a lot more. I've seen it floating around Facebook a lot more and such. But it is a resource that houses college level courses from all sorts of places, including top named schools in the US, outside the US, state schools, Harvard, Stanford, MIT. There's all kinds of great choices. And they are going to be your self-paced courses. You are not going to have a live instructor. You're not going to get feedback. But when you're looking for free resources, you're paying with your time versus your money. So you will have to do some grading. There may not be as much written work as you want. So you'll have to decide how to compensate for that. But they are free. Your student can take an entire course. Some of them are short. Some of them are semester lengths. They can take an entire course for free that's taught by a college level professor. We have used, I think, just 1 or 2 of those, but we've done a lot of Great Course, which is similar type of thing, and we love them. So if you're looking for probably not a freshman, maybe a sophomore, depending on your student and depending on the topic, this would be something that I would definitely check out. There are lots of very specific topics. Instead of a more broad U.S. history course, for example, you might find life in the 1600s or American women who changed history. Those aren't actual titles, but more specific type of things, which is really great for kids who, one, haven't necessarily been exposed to that much beforehand. If you've kind of skimmed over a time period earlier, or that kind of thing. For sciences, there's all kinds of really specific ones. So if you have a kid who's really into chemistry or into astronomy, they can narrow down and take some really interesting courses. The titles for all of these resources, of course, will be down in the down bar as well. Next one, if you're like me, in high school, some of your literature courses involved you going to the bookstore and grabbing the yellow and black stripe Cliff Note things, and that's what you read. Well, when my daughter was a freshman and struggling with Shakespeare, I thought of those. And so I started Googling, and online I found SparkNotes, which was I don't remember what it looked like, but it was kind of the equivalent. There were two different ones. And we found that they have a section called No Fear Literature. And they take Shakespeare or other, most of the ones I saw on the other section were kind of classic books, not necessarily modern ones. But they put the original version on one side, and on the other side they put a more modern translation that, not summaries exactly, but just rewritten in a more modern language so that your students can read the original and then read the translation and then go back to it and understand what's going on. This was a huge help for Elizabeth with Shakespeare. She hadn't had much exposure to Old English writing, so knowing what, this is just very unfamiliar, as you probably remember from your own years of high school doing Shakespeare. By the end of a Shakespeare piece, she needed to use the translation less and less, which was my hope. I wanted her to kind of wean off of it and be able to understand it from the original. But it was such a help to get her over that hump of like just not understanding anything. Next one, back to textbooks. There is a resource called OpenStax. Stax, S-T-A-K, S-T-A-X. And my daughter actually used this last semester with her psychology text for the community college. OpenStax is a website that houses free college level textbooks. They are written by college level professors, so they're going to be quality material. They are peer reviewed. I don't think they're quite as collaborative, like open source, as the American Yawp. If I'm saying that incorrectly and you know how to say it, let me know. I don't think they're quite as like that, but they are that. They're written by college level professors, and they are all free. And again, you can purchase download, or you can purchase printed versions of it. I don't know if they all can be downloaded or not, but I know she downloaded hers and then uploaded it on her iPad into Google Notes or Good Notes so that she could highlight and take notes as she read it. I don't know if you can hear my boys. They are extra loud today. They're eating lunch and being really loud. And the last one is called iCivics. And this, as you can guess by the title, is all about civics education. And there are middle school level and high school level, so you can sort by that. But if you need a civics course, this one is going to be a fantastic choice. You can search by unit topic. If you want just specific lesson plans, you can do that. There are also games and videos, but the curriculum unit, they're all labeled so you can see what's in it. And again, you are going to need to do a little bit of an adaptation, spending your time, save your money, and to organize it. Because the one thing I wish, and I didn't see a way, is that I wish you could just download like the entire, all the curriculum units at once instead of going into each one. I didn't see a way to do that. If there is, I will try to put a little note. I'm going to do a little more research, and if there is, I'll put a little note right here for you. But I couldn't find one. However, for a high school civics course or a middle school, again, if you've got middle school students, I would definitely check out iCivics. And one more resource that you might know for math, but has a lot of other options for the high school level, click on the video on the screen. I'll see you over there.